All right, hello everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. This is I haven't done a lot of live streams outside of EVTN News recently, and this is really off center. I've been trying to kind of get my stuff together to present to you something that I've spent, well, not a ton of time on, but I spent enough time that I'd like to present this information to you. So there are a lot of bishops out there who are, I don't know, do I say they're looking for promotions? Um, I don't know, but in the next 2 years, there will be 8 archbishops retiring. Well, 8 archbishops will reach retirement age within the next 2 years, and Cardinal O'Malley in Boston. So the retirement age for cardinals is 80, and the retirement age for bishops, archbishops, all of them, is 75. So Cardinal O'Malley will be turning 80 within the next 2 years, and 8 archbishops will be turning 75 within the next 2 years. So, what do I want to share with you first? I think I'm going to start here of bishops who are likely to be promoted under Pope Francis. So if Pope Francis dies within the next 2 years, then we probably would be in better shape. But if not, let's take a look. So I compiled a list. Now we can go to this, or we can go to, well, I compiled this list because you can go to a list of bishops, but this is my list. So I went from the youngest bishops I thought until I went to age 69. Once you hit age 70, it's unlikely that you'll get a promotion because that's 5 years, and um, so that's that. So we'll start out from the youngest of the Francis bishops that I thought, and then we'll go to the oldest. And what I did here was I just compiled a list of bishops that I thought were very good Francis Church bishops, and the ones in bold are the ones that are, I think they're sort of more the superstars. And you'll notice as we go through this list, you'll notice there are a few archbishops. So they're pretty much set where they're at, I think. I think the archbishops probably won't be moving unless Francis wants to move them to cardinal. So Bishop Wack, he's pretty young, 55, age 55 in parentheses. He's just kind of a Francis Church bishop. All right, and then a lot of these bishops, like you'll see Cantu, he's 56, and he's an LMNOP supporter from California. Bishop Stowe is possibly the worst bishop in the United States. He may be worse than McElroy, and I'm not joking. And we'll skip. Well, I'm not going to talk about all these guys individually. Like we'll skip Rojas, LMNOP, but Nestout, former McCarrick secretary. Yeah, that's going to get you rising up the ranks of the Francis Church. So these are just people to keep in mind as we look at the upcoming retirements. So Bishop John Dolan of Phoenix, he was just named bishop, so I didn't highlight him. If Francis sticks around for, I don't know, 3 more years, maybe he's someone to keep an eye on. But Phoenix is the, don't quote me on this, but I think it's the 5th largest city in the United States. So it's a pretty significant diocese. It's not an archdiocese. The metropolitan for Phoenix is New Mexico, Wester's diocese. I believe it's Santa Fe. I think it's Santa Fe. Okay, so let's move on. Bishop Flores is kind of a synodal superstar. So he's been, with this Synod on Synodality, he's been one of the main guys, and he's definitely open borders immigration. He's from Texas, and so there, and you'll see that there are a few bishops in Texas who are, they're farther left than almost all of the residents of Texas. Bishop Mark Bartosik, Auxiliary Bishop of Chicago. Now he's an interesting one to watch for. He'll probably get promoted somewhere in the Midwest. We'll see. There will be a lot of Midwest bishops positions that are going to be opening. He removed. So Father Paul Kauchik. Father Paul Kauchik was a pastor of a parish in Chicago where Cardinal Bernardine hung up a rainbow flag, and his parishioners took the flag down and burned it, and he didn't stop them, and that was his crime. And so Bartosik investigated him and came and bullied him, and kicked him out of the parish. So he'll be due for a promotion pretty soon, and plus he's only 61. Weisenberger of Tucson, Arizona, big-time LMNOP supporter. Doesn't seem like there will be a lot of bishops' positions opening in the Southwest, but he's already a bishop, so he'll be looking for a promotion. Archbishop Paul Etienne, LMNOP supporter of Seattle. He's an archbishop already, so not anywhere to go except a cardinal. Potentially LA, but that's not going to be opening up for a little while. Cheyenne, Wyoming, Bishop Beegler, big-time LMNOP supporter. He said, was it one of his quotes at one of the USCCB meetings? Unity above all else. Unity above all else. And of course, he's one of the far leftists. And so what he means by unity is acceptance of LMNOP and all of that heresy. So I highlighted him. Archbishop Rozansky of St. Louis, Missouri. I don't know if there's a bigger place where he could go except Chicago, but Cupich is, well, I heard that he may retire early, but that's not, don't quote me on that. I'll believe it when it happens. He'll probably retire after Francis is no longer Pope. Okay. Now, please note Bishop Coyne, Burlington, Vermont. He's a Biden bishop. What I mean by Biden bishop is Cupich. They had a letter 2 years ago. The bishops of the United States, Cupich drafted a letter that said that no one should be denied communion. And it was in the context of Biden. Biden should not be denied communion for his, even though he's in a public state of mortal sin, he should not be denied communion. And there were over 60 bishops that signed it. And so if you signed that, I call you a Biden bishop. If you haven't publicly repented of that, then you're a Biden bishop. And you support giving the Eucharist to those in mortal sin, which is sacrilege. So over 60 bishops support sacrilege. So there you go. Coyne is a Biden bishop, but then he also removed a priest for crimes against the virus church. And he's in Vermont, so keep that in mind as we move forward. Bishop Tyson of Yakima, of Washington. Zinkula of Davenport, Iowa. There, like I said, a lot of bishops' positions coming open in the Midwest. We'll see that. Davenport, Iowa, LMNOP supporter. So that'll get him good in the Francis Church. Bishop Gustavo Garcia Siller of San Antonio, Texas, constantly rails in favor of disarming all citizens on Twitter. It's kind of sickening. And in Texas, yeah. I mean, not that you should do something that's popular, but he wouldn't be popular with his people. Now we're getting into the bishops that are kind of unlikely to be promoted, I would say. Like, we're getting to that threshold. There's a few Biden bishops here. Bambera, he had Monsignor Rossi is based out of his diocese, and Rossi had some sketchy stuff going on, but Bambera may stay. They may keep him in Scranton to cover up for Rossi. Bartchak of Altoona Johnstown's a Biden bishop. Now, there was actually just yesterday the Bishop of Harrisburg. There's a new Bishop of Harrisburg named, so I think that was sort of his Bartchak's chance to move up, and it didn't get it. It went to a younger bishop. Bishop Taylor of Little Rock, Arkansas, big-time Elemental Peace supporter. Seitz, Bishop Seitz of El Paso. The definition of Francis Church. Very much open borders immigration. The biggest open borders immigration bishop you'll see. He gave a speech at one of the USCCB meetings where he said that the rite of benediction should eliminate the divine praises. So there you go. There's Bishop Seitz. And Bishop Oscar Solis of Salt Lake City, Utah, LMNOP supporter. So these are your possible bishops being moved around. Now let's talk about, I'm going back here. So let's talk about who they're going to be replacing. Since you have, I figured I'd start there, and then we'll see whose positions are going to be replaced, and then we'll plug them in as we go. And I'm going to open this up on a separate window for myself. So before I say that, let's see if I can share my screen here. Before I start that, let's talk about which one do I want? Here we go. Let's try this. All right, and can you see it? Okay. There's an ad. Let's talk about this. Archbishop Christophe Pierre, right here. He's the nuncio to the United States. He's the one that feeds information back to Pope Francis. He is over 2 years over the age limit. So 2+ years over the age limit. He's been due for retirement for over 2 years. But Pope Francis hasn't removed him because then you have to appoint a new one. So I think one of the things working in our favor is that Pierre is pushing through bishop appointments because he's going to be retiring soon. Now I think the virus shutdowns kind of delayed his retirement and may have worked to our advantage in some regards. I know that there was is it Bishop Earl Fernandez, really young bishop of Columbus, Ohio, who said a pontifical high mass at the institute, at their local Institute of Christ the King, at the parish that they have. So he said a pontifical high mass. He slipped through the cracks. Hopefully, there's a few others that did, but that might be why. So that's a big name on this list, is Archbishop Pierre. Probably actually the most significant out of all of them, because who's going to take his place as nuncio? It could be anyone. Now, another big name on the list is Cardinal O'Malley. Cardinal O'Malley is less than 2 years away. Actually, June. So almost just about a year away from being replaced as the Archbishop of Boston, or Cardinal. He will be retiring. So what does this mean? This means anyone could be named the Archbishop of Boston. It's typically a powerful place. A lot of times, there are certain archbishops who got a cardinal's hat, like I think Philadelphia was one until Chaput. Pope Francis didn't give him a cardinal's hat. He was outspoken in favor of pro-life. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. But we've also seen, so one example is Bishop Barron. Bishop Barron was moved, oh wait, I want to get to that in a second. So we've seen McElroy be named a cardinal, and that's pretty significant because it shows the direction that the Francis Church wants to take is one that is heretical. McElroy was heretical before he was named a cardinal, and now people are freaking out. But guess what? He was saying that stuff for years, and you would have seen it on this channel. He was saying all kinds of heretical garbage for years. And he was also a McCarrick bishop. So I figured he would rise up the ranks, and he did. I mean, it doesn't look, I'm not a prophet. You just use logic and reasoning to see the evil men that are being appointed. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. It doesn't even take John the Son of Thunder. You can do it yourself. You can do it too. It's kind of obvious, staring you in the face. And this is all prediction. This could all be completely wrong. If Francis dies next week, then we'll all hope for a Catholic Pope. Anyway, so just because, so the Boston Archbishop spot will be opening up, and I'm gonna look from a regional perspective, and I'm not gonna pick who's going to go every single place. That would take too long, and I didn't want to spend the time to do that. But what I do want to say about that is you don't have to have bishops who are like regional. You don't have to promote a bishop from the region. Like, not you, but it seems as though that's not always the case. I mean, sometimes it is. Like, Archbishop Nelson Perez in Philadelphia came from Cleveland, Ohio, which is fairly close. You can drive there in a day between the two cities. But if you look at Bishop Barron's recent promotion, now he's from the Midwest, and then he went to LA, and then he was promoted. Well, I mean, yeah, auxiliary to a real bishop is a promotion. He was promoted to a diocese in Minnesota. Also, Archbishop Gomez was moved by Benedict from Texas to Los Angeles. So you can do that. That can happen. Okay, so I was actually just getting to this. The top choices for Boston, so this is from a Pillar article, actually. They said that it could be McElroy, so he could go from basically as far away as possible besides Alaska or Hawaii. San Diego to Boston, that's like, what, going to the northeast from the southwest. As far southwest as you can go, about as far northeast as you can go. So basically the farthest distance. But the Pillar said that he's likely to be moved there, and that's what everyone expected because he's not in an archdiocese. But Francis has shown that if you're heretical enough, you can receive a promotion from anywhere. And Bishop Coyne from Burlington, Vermont. That's a possibility as well. So that's the first one. All right, going down the list, you can see their age like in the decimals. So you'll see there's some dioceses that still have bishops who have not been replaced. I'm not going to focus too much on very many of them. Rochester, New York, it's the former diocese of Fulton Sheen. Was he an archbishop? I don't think he ever was. Was he? I don't know. Okay, so this is an interesting one. Bishop Brennan of Wheeling, Charleston, West Virginia. As long as he is in good health, I don't expect him to be replaced because this is Bransfield's former diocese. Bransfield used diocese money for personal expenses like private jet flights. Yeah, and bribes to cover up his harassment. So he probably won't be replaced anytime soon as long as he's in good health, because I think there may have been one man in the entire world that actually wanted this bishop position, and it was Brennan. So, and everyone said, good luck, even though luck doesn't exist. They kind of told him, well, congrats. I mean, I wouldn't want to do what you're doing, because he was cleaning up after Bransfield. That would have been a real mess, and probably still is. All right. You see some like Farrell's there, Brendan McCarrick, but he's in a high position in Rome, getting that Bransfield money. Well, not anymore, but probably getting that Cardinal money. Gregory, I wish he would retire. Oh, I said it. You're a racist. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit. So 75 is the mandatory retirement age. Bishop Perry, happy birthday, Bishop Perry. He just turned 75 a few days ago. He's an auxiliary bishop of Chicago, and he says the Old Mass. He has done old rite confirmations, and actually, with his retirement, it may free him up to move somewhere else out of that rotten archdiocese under Supich. I mean, it's awful. Bernardine destroyed it, and now Supich is destroying it. So maybe he'll move somewhere else and live somewhere Catholic. All right, the first one we're coming up on, Archbishop Schnurr. This is in June. Archdiocese of Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm not going to predict, like I said, I'm not going to predict every appointment. This one, Bishop Stowe. Bishop Stowe will get this. That's my prediction. If I'm wrong, I'm going to be very surprised. Bishop Stowe is from Ohio. He's been horribly heretical, and that's who's advancing in the Francis Church. So Bishop Stowe is going. I don't think I'd put money on it. I'm not a gambling man, but if I were, the odds here would probably be very high for Bishop Stowe getting this Archbishop of Cincinnati position. If he doesn't get it, then look who's coming up. October, Vigneron, Detroit. Stowe could get that one, or Milwaukee. That's all fairly close. But I'm saying if Stowe doesn't get Ohio, I'd be shocked. But Vigneron is approaching retirement age in October. So now let me take a look. Now let's take a look. I said Bishop Zinkula of Iowa. He's an LMNOP supporter. And where is he at on my list here? He's 66 years old, of Davenport, Iowa. Big supporter of LMNOP. So how close is Iowa to Michigan and Wisconsin? I don't think it's super close to. I mean, I don't think it's not like a, just a nice little drive. I think you can make it there in a day pretty easily. But Bishop Zinkula of Iowa, one of these two positions. Like I said, a lot of Midwest, bishop positions coming up. So March will be about a year from now, but October, that's coming up. We'll see. Mobile, Alabama. If they wanted, if the Francis Church, so assuming Francis is around in March next year, if he wanted to move Bishop Flores there, because like I said, Flores is a rising star. He's a synodal star. If he wanted to move him to Alabama, that would be an archbishop position. So there you go. If McElroy gets the Boston job, about a year from now, the archbishop position of Hartford, Connecticut will come open, and it will be Bishop Coyne. So Bishop Coyne's probably going to get a promotion either way. Not probably. I don't know. But there's a possibility. Again, how many of these am I going to be right on? It depends how long Pope Francis lives. Now you can see like DiNardo, his retirement age is 80. So that's that. And then there's two more in the Midwest. Archbishop Naumann in little over a year, and Archbishop Lucas of Omaha, Nebraska. What are the chances that Bishop Connolly gets promoted to Omaha? 0. It's 0. And then November, so less than 2 years, the Archbishop of Louisiana. They will need a new Archbishop of Louisiana. So those are the positions coming open. And like I said, the other guys on this list, they could get moved around as well. You don't have to live in the Midwest to be promoted to an Archbishop of the Midwest. Oh, okay. So let's take a look. Detroit. Milwaukee. Bishop Stephen Beegler, age 64, of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Big supporter of LMNOP. One of these and Wyoming, obviously, it's not the Midwest, but it's close enough where he could be moved there. Watch for his name on one of these positions here. I'm referring it to positions because that's how they treat it. And if not, maybe one of these ones. Wyoming's not that far from Nebraska. No clue. How many bishops do you think are living? No clue. I will say this. If you promote LMNOP, what do you do in your personal life? Just a serious question. There's some Texas bishops that are going to be retiring, but no archbishops in the near future. Although I don't think DiNardo's health is that great. So this could be an early retirement. And maybe one of those Texas bishops that I mentioned, maybe Flores. It's possible that they're going to wait for DiNardo to retire, maybe take an early retirement and promote Flores. Flores is 61. He's got a long way to go. Okay, so mark down my predictions, or bookmark the video or whatever. Let me know what you think. So this screen that I'm using is called CatholicHierarchy.com. Oh, click on something here. Catholic-hierarchy.org, sorry. And then I'm going to share with you another screen. Let me see here. Let me share with you another website. This is it. This is a good one. gcatholic.org, and it lists all of the bishops. So you see Bishop Gracita right here. He's 99. He'll be 100 on June 9th. Oh my goodness. That's my nephew's birthday. That's so cool. You have the same birthday as Gracita. I just realized that. That is so neat. Okay. So we'll be in a little over a month, we'll be celebrating Bishop Gracita's 100th birthday. Awesome. Alright, so anyway, you can scroll down and you can also see like all the bishops. So if you go to like age 75, this is sort of where I was. I didn't actually. I think I on the first website I showed you, I copied and pasted from this website, and then I just deleted and bullet pointed the bishops who kind of stood out to me. But then you can kind of scroll down and see the younger bishops, and I just went through the list, and like I said, I saw which ones stood out to me. These younger ones, some of them can be heretical. I don't know much about them though. I mean, a lot of them are auxiliary bishops? Maybe not. Some of them are auxiliary bishops. So, kind of scrolling up, and you can see kind of who's on there. There's some names of good guys. You know, where's Strickland? He's not that old. I don't know. Yeah, Strickland's not super old. Oh well. And now that I mentioned him, Bishop Joseph Strickland, 64. So he's got over 10 years to go. So there's some good names as you scroll up, but also there's combined in some bishops that, you know, like the LMNOP, support the LMNOP lifestyle. You should share that, Supich. Yeah, but here's the thing. Earlier on in the video, I mentioned that Cardinals, they don't retire until age 80. They could always take an early retirement, which Supich, apparently he told someone that he wouldn't be around in like 2026. May retire before that. I think that's what it was. So he may not be there until age 80. But Supich has 7 years left if he wants. He has 7 more years to, you know, make everyone miserable in Chicago. Okay. So I think that's enough for that website. All right. So hopefully that was kind of helpful. Those are some of the names that I've noticed. LifeSite News used to maintain a website called Faithful Shepherds, where they would post links to statements that the bishops have made, whether it's good or bad. So like if you have bishops that support LMNOP, they would link to that. If you have bishops who oppose LMNOP, they would link to that, and then you would kind of get a good or bad rating based on the statements that you made publicly. Based on the statements that the bishops have made publicly, they would get a, say, it basically says does not promote Catholic teaching on these certain issues. And you could add other stuff to those. You could probably add more issues at this point, but they haven't maintained it for a few years, which is disappointing to me, because I think it was a helpful resource. Anytime a bishop received a promotion or they spoke, looks like I'm out. Okay, I'm back. Anytime a bishop spoke at like the USCCB meeting, we could see where they were coming from, whether they were coming from a Catholic perspective or a non-Catholic perspective. But that's just unfortunately how it is right now. So depending on how long Francis lives, those are the people we'll have to watch for. And if we had a Catholic pope, they would come in and excommunicate a lot of the guys. Seriously, I mean, McElroy would be gone, Stowe, Supich, Tobin, get them out. Get out of here. If you're not going to promote the Catholic faith, get out. At least take away their positions, give it to someone else who's going to promote the Catholic faith rather than oppose it. All right. Hopefully that provided you with some information. And if I'm right, come back here and tell me that I'm right. I don't think I'd be excited about it, but that's just the way I see things. I mean, I said McElroy was next to get a red hat. Why not? Why not? Let's pick who's gonna be the next cardinal in the United States. Francis a lot of times names new cardinals in the fall. So McElroy was named last year. It's unlikely that it doesn't seem like a United States cardinal gets named every year. I mean, that goes to Italy. Italy gets a new cardinal pretty much every year. Maybe multiple sometimes. So I don't think McElroy. I don't think the United States will get a cardinal this year. But if Francis is still around next year, I think it'll be Stowe. I could be wrong. It could be Stowe this year. It could be Wester, Archbishop Wester this year. He's close to retirement, but that would extend his reign of terror for 5 years. Yeah. So yeah, too bad. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we are the laity. We will not be silent.